We will call the governing board meeting of the Lammersville Unified School District to order at 7 p.m. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. At this time, please take a moment to silence or turn off your cell phones. For those of you here that would like to address the board about a specific agenda item and/or during public comment, please fill out a blue comment card so we know when to call upon you. Could I please get Trustee Daniel to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Roll call.
Colin Clements.
Here.
David Pombo.
Absent.
Lisa Boulay.
Here.
Benita Daniel.
Here.
Stephanie Olson.
Here. Item 3, approval and/or corrections to the agenda.
There are none. Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Based on a motion by Trustee Clements and seconded by Trustee Boulay, the agenda. Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. Item 5, committee reports. I don't believe there's anything that we have to report on. If that is inaccurate, please let me know. Then we will move past committee reports. Item 6, governing board reports. Trustee Boulay?
Thank you. First, I want to just take a quick minute and thank all the staff for all the work that you have done on the ELOP program these last couple weeks. This is a program that has some connection with state guidelines, and anytime we work with the state, where I understand we're jumping through hoops and then jumping back through hoops, and I know it's a lot of work at the last minute. So I appreciate everything that all of the staff and teachers who are involved with that program. Thanks for what you've done with that. Last Thursday, I went through to walkthrough registration at the high school, and I honestly, walkthrough registration has always been a great experience, but I think it gets better year after year. There was very little waiting. We were in and out in 20 minutes, very few lines, and so kudos to the high school staff for all that they've done to make that as smooth as possible. Yesterday, I went to the Bethany Service Award ceremony for employees who have reached 5, 10, and 15-year milestones with the district. And I want to congratulate everybody in the district who received an award yesterday for all their hard work and their passion and their dedication to our students. And then yesterday evening, I spent a little time at the high school. Many of the sports are trying out this week. So I really wanted to see the girls' flag football practice because I'm excited for some flag football in our district. So they're looking great. Saw a little bit of the boys' football team practicing, and I caught a little bit of cross-country practicing. So exciting to see huge groups of kids out there for another school year. Finally, I want to close by saying good luck to everybody tomorrow, the first day of school, to all the teachers, the staff, the students, the family. I hope it's a great day. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Clements?
Thank you, Madam President. Yesterday, I attended the employee recognition at Quest Elementary School. I, too, want to congratulate everyone who achieved 5, 10, or 15 years and received their PIN. That's always a great thing every year. But at Quest, I did want to give a special shout out to one particular employee who achieved 15 years, and that would be my wife, Jenny Clements. Today, I did attend the district office employee recognition, and again, congratulations to everyone. But I wanted to give a shout out specifically to Ben Faubert for 10 years with the district. Thanks for your longevity and service. And of course, Dr. Nicholas for 10 years as well. And I too wanted to thank the teachers and staff for everything that they do and wish them a fantastic year and a great day tomorrow as we go back to school. And finally, I wanted to wish the students the best of luck in the coming year and to have a fantastic year. That concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Trustee Clements. Trustee Daniel.
Thank you, President. On August 1st, that's yesterday, I attended the Employee Service Recognition event at Cardis. And today I attended the Employee Service Recognition at the district office. I would like to echo all that my fellow trustees mentioned. Thank you so much for your service and congratulations to everyone. Tomorrow is going to be the start of school, the most exciting day of the academic year. I would like to wish all the students, parents, staff, custodians, district staff, and all of us here a fantastic and successful year ahead. Lastly, I have a request to Dr. Nicholas. If you could, right now we are in the enrollment phase, if you could share a presentation on the students' enrollment process, that would be great. That would be a great information for our community and for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Daniel. Last Tuesday, I also attended the walkthrough registration at the high school and concur with Trustee Boulay. It was wonderful, very quick and efficient. I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to all the dedicated teachers and staff of Lammersville Unified District who were recognized for their longevity in the district, and it's inspiring to see the dedication and commitment to this community. I was able to attend the recognition at Altamont yesterday, and I regret that my work schedule didn't permit me to attend the celebration this morning at the district office, but I would like to congratulate everyone again, and especially congratulate Dr. Nicholas for 10 years leading this district. Additionally, I was pleased to see the enthusiasm displayed during the high school workouts, the water polo workouts, and the freshman football workouts, and notice with football that there's the involvement of a former high school graduate and played football for Mountain House High, and he's now part of the freshman coaching staff. And I think that those engagements such as this foster such a great sense of community and are even more encouraging for our students to excel both in academics and in extracurricular activities, because I happen to know this particular coach did go to college, finished college, played football there, so it's great to have him back. As we embark on this new school year, I do feel compelled to address a pressing issue that demands our attention, which is the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program. While the state may have introduced this program with good intentions, they have once again neglected to provide adequate details, guidance, and funding clarity to support its implementation effectively. The lack of timely and precise information from the state has left our district and staff facing a difficult dilemma: whether to deny the non-foster/homeless families early access to the program or trust that the state will allocate the necessary funds on time. Regrettably, the state failed to provide the much-needed clarity in a timely manner, putting both staff and families in a challenging situation right before school starts. As a district, we are committed to planning and making informed decisions well in advance of the school year. However, this becomes exceedingly challenging when the state does not provide the essential support and funding required for such initiatives. Families, too, deserve adequate notice and ample time to prepare for any changes or adjustments. While I appreciate the efforts of our dedicated staff in finding a solution, it is evident that relying on general funds to sustain the ELOP program will inevitably impact our teacher salaries and essential educational resources in a district that is continuously growing. Therefore, I earnestly request the board's support in passing a resolution that condemns the state leaders for creating an untenable situation for our staff and families. We must hold those who are truly responsible for the situation accountable for their lack of clarity and failure to provide the necessary funding in a timely manner to ensure the success and inclusion of all in this program. By passing this resolution, we can advocate for our district's needs and emphasize the importance of responsible, transparent governance that prioritizes the well-being of our students, staff, and families. I believe it is crucial that we stand united in demanding the support and resources necessary from the state for the successful implementation of initiatives like the ELOP program. Do I have a consensus to push that forward for the next meeting agenda?
Yes, sir.
Yep, of course.
Thank you. And to conclude my report, I just echo everyone's well wishes for the first day of school. Glad to have you all back. Thank you. Item 6, receiving of public comments. The entire board appreciates hearing from members of the community and public at large. The board shall give members of the public an opportunity to address the board either before or during the agenda, or during the board's consideration of each agenda item, Government Code Section 54954.3. At a time so designated on the agenda, members of the public may also bring before the board matters that are not listed on the agenda of a regular meeting. The board may refer such a matter to the superintendent or designee or take it under advisement, but shall not take action at that time. The board may place the matter on the agenda of a subsequent meeting for discussion or action. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. And we do have one speaker card from Samik Modi, so you can please approach the podium. And I would just like to note that in fairness to speakers that have previously spoken in other board meetings or future board meetings, I will limit your time to 3 minutes, so, all right, thank you.
My name's Samik Modi. I've been in Mountain House since 2015, and I've got a first grader going in this year, as well as next year I'll have a kindergartner. I'm speaking in relation to the ELOP program, and while I think the program sounded great, yeah, the state probably could have done a billion things better, which they probably could in many different situations. I think the district could have handled it a little bit better as well, and I don't hear that contrition from anyone from the district to say, you know what, we maybe messed up a little bit, and we could have done things a little bit better. I got an email on July 20th. There is zero uncertainty in that email that says, we may not be able to run this program, but if we can, your child has a spot. That email says your child has a spot from August 3rd through the end of May. That's it, okay? 11 days later, we get an email that says, state hasn't funded this, your child is no longer in the program. That's it. That's what the memo said. I hope all of you guys have read it. Nothing in there said, we realize this puts you in a really bad situation. There are a lot of parents that probably put their children in ELOP because it's a school-run program. A lot of their friends might be in there, and that may not be a childcare solution, but it was a fun thing that their children can do, also get some educational value out of it. There's also a segment of the population, like myself, who have 2 working parents outside of the home who actually counted on this as a childcare option. And we don't have that option noticed to us 3 days before school starts. And none of the notices said, hey, we empathize with you. We realize that this puts you in a bad bind. Nothing was done to say, you know what, we contacted 10 other centers around the community. Here's who has spots. We want to help you guys get a solution in place. Nothing was done to say, hey, you know what, we're going to give you guys some breathing room. We're going to dip into the general fund for 2 weeks. We're going to run the program for 2 weeks, but we don't know if we can do it after that. Or another source of funding to say, we empathize that this is a really tough solution. We are going to find a way to solve this. Nothing was done to say, hey, like Patterson School District, they charge their parents for it. Nothing was said to say, hey, maybe we have to charge $50, $100, whatever that cost is, to keep the program afloat, maybe even for a short time until the state funding gets resolved. The second notice that came out 2 days later had zero timeline on when we should expect any further information. It did not say, hey, even if we don't know anything, we're going to contact you in a week. Nothing was out there. Parents are not looking for free handouts, but we are looking for certainty. Okay, and that's what was not afforded in this situation. Nothing in the communication, I think, had empathy. Nothing said, hey, apologize, we could have communicated better. And half the stuff I'm saying may be factually wrong. But you know why it's wrong? Because I've got zero information from the district to say what actually happened, other than we didn't get funding. I don't feel that there's a sense of accountability in what happened here in the last 10 days. Lastly, I will say, and I'm not here to impugn anyone's character, but having zero phone number information on signatures at the district staff, I don't think it's acceptable. There are 10 numbers listed on this individual's phone, on this individual's email. It has, if you need 911, if you need mental health help, if you need something else, but it does not have, here's my extension at the district office. So it makes it really hard to communicate with the district when there's an issue. I understand I'm over.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Brown Act does not allow the board members to respond to matters raised during public comment. For this reason, the board has a general consensus that the president speaks for the board as a whole during public comment. So on behalf of the entire board, I do want to thank you for your comment and would ask district staff if they could reach out to Mr. Modi. And okay, so then we're on item 7, consent items for consideration. Would any board member like to pull any consent items for separate discussion or comment? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve consent items.
Second. You can pick.
Okay. Based on a motion by trustee Boulay and seconded by trustee Daniel, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Oh, I forgot to say aye. The motion carries. Trustee Boulay, as the acting board clerk, would you do the honors?
Thank you. I would like to welcome the new employees of Lammersville Unified School District. Daljit Kaur Bedi, noon duty supervisor. Hussein Charwala, science teacher. Anthony Cole, special education teacher. Valerie Garcia, high school world language Spanish teacher. Jessica Gonzalez, high school English teacher. Leticia Hernandez, K through 8 custodian 1. Lygia Hernandez, mental health counselor. Christina Jelly, mathematics teacher. Sylvia Kerniawan, behavioral specialist. Christina Millian, library media teacher. Jordan Peterson, food service worker. Samantha Philp, self-contained classroom teacher. Sudha Prabhu, noon duty supervisor. And Sanjaya Tharapa Shivakumar, noon duty supervisor. Welcome to the Lammersville family.
Thank you, trustee Boulay. Item 8, district administrative reports. Superintendent's report?
Yes, I'm just going to echo what Trustee Boulay just said, that tomorrow's the first day of school. So in case anyone wasn't aware, tomorrow is the day. Number 2, we have every year we try to project in a fun way what we think our enrollment numbers are going to be, and so we've been moving along. But the team in student services was happy to tell me today that we're at 7,903 students. We know that there'll be a drop because of no-shows, but 7,903. But the more important thing I wanted to say is the student services team has processed this year approximately, or getting close to 1,300 enrollment applications. It's a team of really 3. So I wanted to thank April Bertola and Christy Carl and Executive Director Busatil. There's a lot of work there, but in particular, as the pressure to the beginning of the new year comes and the surge of people, the professionalism and patience with families that are feeling it, they've done a very good job this year. So that number will only go bigger, but I wanted to let the board know that. Thirdly, we had a interesting article sent to us by Steve Pinkerton from the CSD that came out of the San Francisco Chronicle that gave information about high schools and the percentage of students who apply to UC, the University of California system, get accepted. And so we have 2 very interesting numbers that came out of there. The one that's really cool is, and this is 2022 numbers, is a graduating class of 416. We had 183 students apply to the UC system, 144 of which were accepted. That's an 80% success ratio. I didn't miss the opportunity to look at how the other districts that are close to us over the hill did, and I can tell you our percentage is higher by a little bit. Now, of the 416, 183 applied, that's a 44% of our high school seniors that year applied to the UC system. Our competitors over the hill, friendly of competitors, of course, their number's a little higher percentage per student population, so that's something we'll keep a look at. But I would really like to continue to see that success rate of 80% for those getting accepted. So kudos to the team at the high school, the old guy who's moved on to greener pastures, and the whole entire operation over there. That's a really excellent work. Thirdly, we have a video here. I think that's actually 4, but the fourth thing, we had our employee recognition today, and we have a nice little video that Noelle put together. It's very nice, so she's going to play it now. Okay, and then finally, I just wanted to address the ELOP thing as well. Just kind of give a brief overview and kind of an update on where we're at. So the ELOP program is a state program. It was begun in 22-23. It came with a large pile of money and very little direction. When we reached out to the county for oversight and guidance, they said that your plan is your plan, and work it out, and there may be an audit down the road. It was that vague. The priority, though, in the program was to take care of low-income English learner, foster youth, and homeless students. The idea was to help them have before-school care and after-school care with activities. In the spring of 2023, we opened a pilot program. It worked well. In the summer of 2023, we held a summer ELOP program that worked well. One of the provisions in the ELOP program is that once you met the minimum requirement, you could use the additional monies to expand program. You can create new programs as long as it was an add-on. So we made the decision to expand the program with the intent to expand it to the general population of students after taking care of the priority students' needs. We surveyed in the spring families, and we were the information that came back, and these numbers are approximate, that 201 students fit in the priority student category, and approximately 482 additional students were interested. So we went into the summer with big convictions on what we wanted to do and what we wanted to try to accomplish. What we ran into was some challenges that were unforeseen, and some of them that are predictable, but they have to be overcome. So the state direction was unclear, continuing. The funding allocation was unknown, and the staffing need was started with a desire, and we had a reality of we have to go through all of our processes to get a particular group of people in to provide the skill and go through all the processes, including fingerprinting and DOJs and certain tests and the like. So we moved forward diligently. Staff did everything they could, and as the summer moved on, the challenge between what we wanted to accomplish and what we could accomplish started to come to a head. So the tipping point came about early last week when it became clear that the district was going to start to have to subsidize the program just to cover the 201 priority students. And so what we could afford and what we could pull off and what staffing we could get available for the start of the school really became a very real concern. So we're subsidizing the program because the money wasn't clear from the state and all the money we had from the past was running out. So the decision was made by me. So I wish the gentleman was here that spoke earlier. The responsibility is mine. I am the superintendent of schools. When something doesn't go well and a gentleman like that is frustrated, to the best of our ability, we were not able to get everything that we intended to do done. So the decision was made that the district would subsidize the entire program, including the 482 students who were interested, to get through the year. Second, that we would take care of the prioritized students that follows the provisions in the program and make sure that they, from day one, had the ELAP program available and the staffing there. Thirdly, we had a short window, and it is true that it was definitely going to throw off families who were relying on this, but we couldn't promise something we couldn't pay for and couldn't staff. So we sent out the first information to say we cannot do the program at this time. So we recognized that challenge. But we also on Monday, and this is what we do at the district office, is we solve problems. A team was brought together to find a way to make it work. We knew we were taking care of the priority students from day one, and we were going to go as fast as possible to figure out a way to take care of the interest of the 482. So 24 people since Monday have been identified as interviewable or already interviewed people, candidates, to fill the needs for the 482 interested students. We have already communicated to proactively educate new employees that they have to get their Department of Justice fingerprint cleared and how to do that. That was all done today in person with the phone call and the HR hiring packet. Student placement, again, is going to be prioritized to TK6 students, our youngest students, and that they are already in the process of being grouped, so when we find a staff member who gets through the entire hiring process, they can be plugged to a student group, and that can be put into play. I also want to say kudos to the parents, because this is a rare thing, and this is something we should all be proud of about residents in Lammersville Unified. A number of parents called the California Department of Education, who contacted the district, who said that you folks at the CDE need to release the money to the district. We want this program. So they were so stirred by the passion of our community members that the CDE gave us a call. What I will also tell you is it's a little over $1.5 million that we were waiting to find out about. It's not a small amount of money. On Monday afternoon late, after pretty much the workday was done, the information from the state was released to us about how much money we had. And I can tell the board that in spite of the fact that it's a large amount of money, it's not enough to afford the program that we hope to provide for all. So we are going to subsidize that program. So that is our way of addressing the gentleman's concern about we were promised something. We promised something, we're going to deliver on it. And so that's what we're going to do. So let me give an update of where we're at over the last 2 days. So we are subsidizing a small portion of the 201 priority students, and we will subsidize the 482. We are actively engaged in hiring staff to address the needs for the program and for the 482. There is a process of hiring that is only HR people can really truly appreciate this. Bless you, HR people. We are expediting and prioritizing the hiring of the folks for this program and the needs of the 482, and they will be, when they're hired, already tied to a group of students. As soon as we have a person hired and they've cleared, meaning Department of Justice, fingerprints, and all the HR stuff, they're going to be placed. We're not going to wait for all of our candidates, 24 of them, to clear at one time like we would normally do. The idea is you clear, you go. Families will be communicated with about the time and start of it and all that. So it won't be as smooth a process as we normally do. We like to do everything in sequence and very methodical. But in the case of this, we found out how much money we had on Monday. So what it's going to be, and I want to be clear and speak slowly, When a person clears the HR process, which includes DOJ clearance, they will be tied to a group of already identified students and dropped into the school that serves those students. So it will be uneven as it rolls out, only because we want to get it going faster. Key point number 1, priority students start tomorrow, August 3rd. That's 201 students. Key point number 2, all 24 people who have been identified as hireable to support the needs of the 482 interested students are in a different place in the hiring process. Now, here is the one condition of success we cannot control. DOJ clearance happens when it happens. It typically takes 2 to 5 days, sometimes longer. Sometimes it's 1 day. So I want to go back to that point I made slowly. If one group of people get cleared in 1 day and another group of people get cleared on day 5, we're rolling. So whenever they're cleared through the HR process, they're going to get tied to their group of kids and dropped, and the parents will be communicated with. I can't control that. Nobody in this building can control that. The DOJ is what it is. So at present, what I can tell you is 8 people, we feel like we have approximately the need for 32 additional people, or what the staff is calling me shifts. And is it shifts? Shifts. All right, because there's a before school element and an after school element. Some people do both, some people split between the two. So just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to speak to 32. There are 8 individuals who are almost through the HR process and DOJ clearance now. We believe that sometime next week we will be dropping hired people to groups of kids and communicating to families. I can't promise it, because at any given time the DOJ can take longer, but we believe that's to be true. There are 16 other individuals who are interviewed and beginning the DOJ clearance. If they clear tomorrow, great. If it takes a week and a half, it is what it is. We can't go any faster. But that is 24 individuals who in a relatively very short period of time, meaning by late next week, should, and I want to emphasize the word should, be able to be tied to a group of kids and dropped into a school and families communicated with. That leaves us with 8 left, and we have more than 8 individuals identified for interviewing, which means setting up interviews, DOJ clearance, the hiring process, and dropping them with the remaining groups. So we are confident that at least 32 individuals will be found. We will take care of the needs of the 482 individual interested students as quickly as possible. But it needed to be explained, and I thought this would be the best vehicle to do that explanation, to explain the complicated nature of what we're trying to deal with. So we hope, again in summary, that in a very short period of time, the needs of the 482 are taken care of. We are already being told that there are other people interested who didn't meet the enrollment timeline or are new to the district, so there will be a wait list process which also comes along. So let me say this. I want to thank the Ed Services team, the HR team, the Curriculum and Instruction team, the Student Services team, Associate Superintendent, and everybody else, because when you know you're frustrating your community because you have to make a decision based on funding, which is a bureaucratic decision, then it behooves the individuals that are creating the frustration to do what they can to fix the wrong. And the wrong is we have to take care of the needs of the 482 individual interested students as quickly as possible. So that's what we're doing. Not good enough. Everybody is used to the highest quality of work coming out of this district. What I can assure frustrated individuals in the community is we will get this resolved as quickly as possible. And finally, for those individuals that are frustrated by what has happened, I am the superintendent of schools. It is my responsibility, and I take full responsibility, and all I can say is we will learn from this experience. We will do better systems for the ELOP program moving forward, and we will take care of business as we normally do. And Madam President, that is my presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Nicholas. Are there any questions or comments from the board before we move on?
If I may, Madam President. Thank you very much, Dr. Nicholas. I wanted to say thank you to district staff for working on this. I know when things change and the unexpected arises, the team works diligently to solve the problem and focus on the solution. And you don't want to communicate, like if you're working the problem and you are trying to find a resolution, you don't want to admit defeat and raise the alarm unnecessarily, right? And when it's time to raise the communication is art, not science. Because if you raise the alarm too soon and then you solve it, you come under fire because you unnecessarily worried the district, because the parents, because they start looking for childcare, right? And then you say, "Oh, we solved it," right? But if you don't raise the alarm and it doesn't get resolved, then you come under fire because the notice was too short. And what I hear you saying, and what I would like to echo as a board member, is when it comes to accountability, when it comes to success and allocating accolades, that gets passed on to the staff. When it comes to a problem and taking responsibility for that problem, it stays right here with us 6. If you want somebody to blame, there's my name. Put it right there. I went door to door asking for that responsibility. And I acknowledge that it was a rough thing for the parents, but to the staff, I acknowledge that the state created a situation that you've got to play the hand you're dealt to the best of your ability. And as it turns out, maybe earlier notification would have been better. But if we'd have notified earlier and we would have solved it, it could have been a similar problem the other way. So thank your staff. And to the public, I say, we do take accountability right here.
Thank you, Trustee Daniel, did you have?
Yeah, I do have a question, but before that, I really appreciate the fast turnaround. So thank you to the district, everyone hands all together, and we were able to find a solution. But thank you for explaining the step-by-step process. I do have a question based off on that. So you mentioned for the 482, 24 candidates are, have been, what's the right? Okay, they are going through the process of hiring, and 8 are, they may start as early as possible. Now, how soon will the communication be sent to the students as soon as the 8 candidates are identified that they can start a certain date?
That's a great question. So I'm going to answer it with a little bit of wiggle room insofar as this. I don't know what tomorrow is going to be lead on the DOJ part. So the intent would be to communicate that a solution is coming, and it may go out in 3 forms for the first 8, the 16, so we have more work to do on being clear. We get one more chance to say something to the community. So when I'm absolutely sure and clear on when the 8 are really coming into the queue is when I can answer that with more conviction and confidence. But as soon as we know they're clearing, then that communication is going to go out to the families of the kids who are going to be with those first group of teachers.
Yeah, so my follow-up question would be, do we have, is it going to be in a 24-hour period of time, or is it going to be 48 hours? When we know that, okay, these 8 candidates are going to start Friday, let's say Friday. So will the parents be informed by Monday? That's the time span I'm asking for.
Yeah, I think for the first 8, we're going to know with a bigger gap in time, and I think they'll know sooner. On the rest, it really is going to come down on the DOJ clearance. If their old process is done and they fingerprint and the next day they're ready to go, then we'll communicate as quickly as possible. I can anticipate that we would do a grace period so families have a time to adjust, but this is all moving so fast. That's a logistical question. So I'm trying to say, yes, we want to give people time, but right now we want to get the people hired, get the communication to the families, and get the program started. So each of those different groups of people are going to happen differently. So I normally have a really specific answer, but right now it's moving. It literally Ben and Sharp were working on this till about 6 o'clock tonight. So, and I got the information on the 8 to 16 and the 8 after 6. So that's why I'm a little bit fuzzy.
Okay, sure. Thank you. We'll wait for that. One more question. I mean, I don't know whether, I just want to understand this. So 482 kids, have they been already grouped? Like, because you mentioned that as soon as a teacher is placed, then a group goes in.
That process was completed this afternoon. There's definitely going to be a double check process, but that's how we know there's an 8, a 16, and an 8 is by the alignment of those people to those kids. So I would say it's done, but we always have to double check.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to the staff.
All right, moving on to item B, District Maintenance and Operations Report.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. School starts tomorrow, so we've been spending this week trying to finish what we can before the kids arrive in the morning. Update our projects. The Bethany and Quester freezers are done. The fencing at Lammersville, the gates went in, the metal gates went in last week. That project is done. If you haven't been by, you should drive by and check it out. It looks really good. Makes a big difference on the campus. The flooring at Bethany is done. The office remodel at Bethany, we need to paint the new door that's in there. And I need to install some baseboards on the new cabinetry. And I need to put a transition strip in the front door, which I'm gonna do tonight. After I'm done here, I'm gonna head over to Bethany, finish that, get that done. The office remodel at Wickland. You may recall, we were walking in Wickland, there was a small section of black metal fencing. People were cutting through the planter bed there, so we put that up. We ran that metal fencing all the way up to the new front door to kind of guide people towards the door. We did that on Monday. Today we poured concrete this morning, and I asked probably they could use it on Monday. Give it a couple days to set up. They could use the new door starting on Monday. Office remodel at Lammersville. I opened up the wall between the office and the hallway. Made a new wall for the hallway out the back door. The ceilings in that room are over 10 feet tall, so we had to run the sheetrock up about 12 feet up into the ceiling grid for privacy of the principal's office. Fully insulated, sheetrock's in, it's primed. It needs to be textured and painted. I'll do that on Saturday. I'm coming on Saturday and finish that project. And I put the baseboards in, I'll do that on Saturday as well. I want to thank Principal Duran and Rebecca. They've been really patient with us last week and a half with our construction desks, so I appreciate their patience. Room 25 is done. The furniture hasn't arrived yet, and the new interior door is not here yet. It's on order. And also have a door for Principal Duran's office too, so there'll be a new door going in there. That's on order too. Right now, a piece of plywood up covering the opening. The small gym, the new lights were installed. Rhea and I put the gym finish on the floor on the 21st, and the high school was able to use it on the 24th, so that's ready to go. It's been ready to go for a couple weeks. The media room at the high school, the new flooring is going on the 14th and 15th, Monday the 14th, Tuesday the 15th. I got to work with the site to get that done because school obviously starts tomorrow. So the portables and the ramps had to be redone. That's all fixed. Obviously, the paving had to be fixed. Furniture's delivered. We have a couple of issues with new portables. One of the ACs doesn't appear to be even hooked up at all, so I called the company today. Supposed to send a tech out tomorrow. One of the outlets was not screwed all the way in. We're going to fix that in the morning where the clock goes. A couple little things like that. So we have to do that in the morning. Costa, we spent a lot of time at Costa last couple of weeks, obviously. Boatloads of pallets of supplies and books and whatnot. So spent some time there today helping lower desks, just getting things ready for the school. Looks good if you haven't been out there. ready to go for the kids in the morning. The window coverings for Cuesta and Altamont, met with the vendor, met with the installer, and what we decided was the best thing to do is install them the week of fall break, because they have to get a lift in there and do all kinds of stuff. It's just, that'll be a good time to do it with no kids around. So that's what we're gonna do. The cow shape work is ongoing. They finished Altamont. They did some preliminary work at the high school. They've been at Wickland all this week. They're gonna finish up Wickland on Monday, and then they're gonna slide over and do Hanson after that. They're working nights. They're gonna work till 11:30, so have to have the custodians stay late at those schools at those nights. And that's all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Excuse me, I'm gonna go to Bethany, so thank you.
Item 9, action items. Item A, consider approval of 2023-2024 inter and intra-district transfer requests. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the 2023-2024 inter and inter-district transfer requests.
Second.
Based upon a motion by trustee Boulay and seconded by trustee Clements. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Point of clarification, I think maybe I have a different agenda. I apologize. Can I get a current agenda? I mentioned before the meeting that I had left my notes at work, so I apologize to everyone. I just grabbed an agenda. It must have been the wrong one. My bad.
All right. So, the motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item B, consider approval to adjourn from regular session to open public hearing on collective bargaining proposals. 1, California School Employee Association, Chapter 873, CSEA, initial proposal to LUSD. 2, Lammersville Unified School District's initial proposal to CSEA.
Move to approve to adjourn from regular session to open public hearing on collective bargaining proposals.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Daniel and seconded by trustee Clements, we will now be in a public hearing. We're in public hearing.
Madam President, would you like me to explain the context of this item?
Oh, yes, staff report. I forgot about
Okay, no, that's okay. So items B, C, D, and E are all part of the same process. It's called a sunshine proposal. We do this during every negotiated season. So the staff report is that the items B1 and B2 are the two groups of points that they want to discuss.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nicholas.
And as a point of order, we have a motion and a second.
So based upon a motion by trustee Daniel and seconded by trustee Clements, all in favor to move to, where, did we already vote? I cannot remember.
No.
Did we vote?
No, we did not.
Oh, Noel's saying we did vote? Oh, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so the motion carries with 5 ayes. We are in public hearing. Oh, 4 ayes, sorry. I will now entertain a motion to,
Move to close public hearing and return to regular session.
Second.
based on a motion by trustee Clements and seconded by trustee Daniel. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes and no nays, and we are back in regular session. Item E, consider approval of sunshining initial collective bargaining proposals for the 2023-2024 school year. Dr. Nicholas, any additional?
No, Madam President.
Thank you.
Move to approve sunshining initial collective bargaining proposals for the 2023-2024 school year for California School Employee Association, Chapter 873, CSEA, initial proposal to LUSD, and Lammersville Unified School District, LUSD, initial proposal to CSEA.
Second.
I think trustee Daniel got that. So based upon a motion by trustee Clements and seconded by trustee Daniel, any additional discussion or comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes and 0 nays. Item F, consider approval of revised amount for the facilities lease agreement and site lease with Roebling Contracting Incorporation as the general contractor for the Mountain House High School portables, the Mountain House High School expansion project, and sports fields funded through Measure L and commercial developer fees for $1,196,945. Staff report?
Yes, this is a revision to an original approval in that there's 3 big projects. There's the portable project, the 15 classroom expansion of Mountain House High School, and the fields on the 19 acres. The original approval was just for the pre-construction work on the portables, and this amount includes that, plus the other 2 pre-construction services for the fields and the 15 classrooms.
Move to approve the revised amount for the facilities lease agreement and site lease with Roebling Contracting Incorporated as a general contractor for the Mountain House High School portables, the Mountain House High School expansion project, and sports fields funded through Measure L and commercial developer fees, $1,196,945.
Second.
Based upon a motion by trustee Boulay and seconded by trustee Clements, any additional discussion or comment?
I actually do have a quick question, and I apologize, Dr. Nicholas, for not thinking of this earlier. So with some of the monies coming from Measure L, will this use up the remainder of our Measure L funds? No? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Now, this is a vague memory, but is an approximation. We have approximately $3 million left, give or take, because we just finished the fence project, and I believe that was $350,000. So it was around 3.5. You add that and a couple of other things. So that's where we're at. But there are a number of projects like the fields, the delay and what we will call the recalcitrance of the developers in the southern part of the community are putting pressure on other projects because money is being kind of subsumed right now. So I cannot say, I'll say it this way, nothing for this particular thing puts it at risk, but I believe that there are factors that will roll that down to 0, I think, in the next year or 2.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions or comments? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes and no nays. Item G, consider approval to purchase 2 transit utility vans funded through the Maintenance, Operations, and Transportation Budget, Fund 35, not to exceed $150,000. Staff report?
Yeah, we're excited about this one. It's going to add additional, we need to move a lot of stuff to a lot of places, and this is going to help the team and the DMOT department to move things from here to there.
Move to approve the purchase of 2 transit utility vans funded through the Maintenance, Operations, and Transportation Budget, Fund 35, not to exceed $150,000.
Second.
Based upon a motion by trustee Boulay and seconded by trustee Clements, any additional discussion or comment?
I have a question. As I was reading through the background information, it mentioned that the board on January 19th, 2022 approved the purchase of 3 vehicles, and now we are approving a purchase of 2. So
I believe, and Mr. Harrison's going to confirm that he can explain, but I think it's the Ford canceled the order, right? Yeah. Yep. Oh, no, please, we want to hear your voice.
The 3 transit vans that were ordered and approved by the board, I think it was 18 months ago, it was a while ago, are the smaller transit vans. They're the compact vans. That order sat for 12 months. Then we got a notification from Ford, it's canceled. They didn't have parts, they didn't have...
Was that the chip issue?
It was all sorts of issues, yes. Then what happened is a school district in Sacramento ordered 18 full-size transit vans and canceled the order. So Jason Dixon, our new DMOT director, found those, and we jumped on that order because they're there, and we're going to order 2 full-size transit vans. which is why the cost is different, and why we resubmitted, because one order was canceled, and now this is a new order, replacing the old order.
Okay, so the 2 transit vans are going to support whatever help was going to be done by the 3.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any additional comments, questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes and no nays. Item H, consider approval to purchase 2 passenger vans with ESSER funds not to exceed $200,000. Staff report?
Yes, some of the original vans for student transport, specifically sports and student activities, have aged to a place of decay. And we are going to bring in these new vans, and those vans will be repurposed out to the DMOT as well.
I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the purchase of 2 passenger vans with ESSR funds not to exceed $200,000.
Second.
Based upon a motion by trustee Clements and seconded by trustee Daniel. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes and no nays. Item I, consider approval of 2023-2024 Local Control Accountability Plan, LCAP, Federal Addendum. Staff report?
Yes, each year there is a new thing we have to do to support the LCAP requirements, and the federal addendum is a new plan that has to go through. We want to thank the team for putting that together, and this allows us to check a box.
Move to approve the 2023-2024 Local Control Accountability Plan, LCAP Federal Addendum.
Second.
Based upon a motion by trustee Boulay and seconded by trustee Daniel, any additional discussion or comment? Are all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries with 4 ayes and no nays. Item 10, calendar. Item A, on Thursday, August 3rd, 2023, tomorrow, the first instructional day of the 2023-2024 school year. And on Wednesday, August 16th, 2023 will be the next governing board meeting at 7 p.m. in the district office boardroom. In a moment, we will adjourn to closed session where we will discuss public employee discipline, dismissal, release, complaint, government code, section 54957, conference with real property negotiators, government code, section 54956.8, and conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, government code, section 54956.9. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to adjourn to closed session.
Second.
Based upon a motion by trustee Clements and seconded by trustee Boulay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes, no nays. We adjourn at 7:57 p.m.